Good morning, students. So far, we discussed about in mass transfer operations about the mass transfer coefficient, how mass will transfer from one phase to another phase, and basic parameters like effect of temperature, pressure, and everything. And regarding with how we can deal with the sometimes we may deal with the gaseous form, sometimes we may deal with the liquid forms also. So how the mass transfer or flux rate will be calculated for various phases like liquid phase or liquid gas phase. We have discussed all these terms. Now today's class we are going to discuss about the one of the important concepts in mass transfer is the gas absorption. Okay, so regarding first thing, what is gas absorption? What is generally it meant for? That is, whatever we know that in a gas form we have so many compounds like solute and solvent. We have different components in one gas phase. So the transfer of solute from gas to liquid phase, we can term it as a gas absorption. So it is also known as scrubbing. Okay, so in this operation mainly it is considering that when a gas mixture is contacted with a liquid for the purpose of dissolving one or more components of the gas. So that is the basic definition of the gas absorption. In the simpler way, we can call it as transfer of solute from gas phase to liquid phase. That is what we call as a gas absorption. We have liquid absorptions and other absorptions also. Now we are mainly concentrating on the gas absorption in today's topic. Coming to the gas absorption, what is the major application in industries in where we can use this phenomena of gas absorption? Generally in industries, we may deal with either gas purification or product recovery. These are the main important scrubbing operations or gas absorption operations in industries. Okay, so and also the absorber may be whatever the absorbed column we are using in the absorption process. It may be like a packed column or a plate column or spray or venturi scrubbers. These are some of the absorbers we may deal. These which are dependent on different types of applications. In which application we can use which type of absorber. Okay, that's we're going to discuss in the next topics. Coming to the absorption process, we have different types of absorptions. Generally, we may deal with like the physical absorption process and the chemical absorption process. The name itself is indicating that whenever we are dealing with without any significant physical changes or without any physical chemical reactions involved in the process, then it is termed as the physical absorption, where there is no significant chemical reactions occur. If you take the examples of whenever the hydrocarbon oils we want to remove with using water, if you may not get any chemical reaction in that reaction. So then it is termed under the physical absorption process, where we can't judge chemical reaction was happened. We don't have any evidences where the chemical reactions occurring in that cases. Coming to the chemical absorption process, where there will be a significant changes in the chemical reactions. So then we can term it as a chemical absorption process. For example, similar way, if we take any acid gas combination, okay, when we add NaOH to that as an absorber, then the NaOH will dissolve into the gaseous phase. Okay, so then we are able to see that there is a chemical reactions. We can consider that chemical reactions also. So here we are considering the chemical reactions. So then it is called the chemical absorption. That is the significance. Okay, these are the two absorption process we can come across the gas absorption, like physical absorption and chemical absorption. These are the two phases, different types of absorption we can come. And when coming to the absorption process, we have discussed about the types of absorption process. Sometimes we may also deal with how the gas phase and liquid phase are sent into the absorption column. For example, if you take any reactor like something, so in which direction the gas will enter and which direction the liquid will enter will always bother you much. Okay, because it adds a significant changes in the absorption column. So because of that, we have different types of flow patterns in the absorption column. Generally, we have three types of patterns like co-current absorption, counter-current absorption, and cross-flow. Generally, cross-flow we can't use for the gas absorption process. Always we use for the and co-current and counter-current. When coming to the industrial point of view also, majority of the cases we are using the counter-current process only. Then what is how the gas and liquid will enter into the column, in which part we can call it as a co-current and counter-current. Let's discuss here. Are you able to see the screen? So here if you observe the first diagram, so here if you observe the red color arrow marks indicating the gas stream, where the gas stream is entering in one direction. Let it call it as the equation 1 path, and this is one of the second position. The gas is entering in one position and leaving in the second position. Coming to the blue lines here, if you observe, the liquid is entering in the second phase and liquid is leaving in the first phase. So here you are observing both the gas and liquids are in opposite direction. That is what we call it as a counter current. So this is the counter current absorption process we call as, where the both gas and liquid streams are in opposite direction. If we consider the first path here, both, if you observe, both the gas phases are in opposite direction. Coming to the, if you observe the second region, where you are also observing both phases are in opposite direction. So that is called the counter current absorption process. Okay, and coming to the second diagram in the same picture, if you observe, let it be, this is the one position and this is the second position. If you observe the first position, where the gas, the red color arrow marking is indicating the entering of the gas stream, and if you observe the blue stream, that is the liquid entrance also is on the same direction. Both gas and liquid phase are entering in the first region only. And coming to the second part also, you can consider it. Here also the both gas, like the red line and the blue line, both for the gas and liquid phases respectively, are leaving in the same stream of second. So if you consider, this pattern is called co-current absorption. Co-current absorption process, where both liquid and gas streams are entering in the same direction and leaving in the opposite direction. So this is process is called, we call it as a co-current process. So not only in absorption, we have so many different types of heat transfer equipments also. We can deal with the same type of patterns, flow patterns, co-current, counter-current, cross-flow. Every time we may come across this one. That is very important. This is one of the important topics. Okay, so if we consider how this is the process, how the co-current and counter-current flow patterns were observed. Coming to the mass transfer, how the solute is transferred from one phase to another phase, how the concentrations of solute is transferred. Okay, so if you observe, for example, if the flow rate of gas stream in the first region is, let me erase this once to make it more clear, to make it more appropriate. So I am erasing this, all conditions. Okay, for example, this is the gas phase. This is the gas phase we are entering. Here, for example, if the gas contains A and B components, where A is the non-diffusing and B is the solute which is going to diffuse in B. Okay, so this is the solute we are going to diffuse into the liquid phase. For example, here the liquid is entering in this direction. Here the liquid has composition of A only, or let it be another like component C, we call it as. Okay, where the liquid has only single component. So our aim is to observe whatever the gas we are sending that. So this gas has to absorb into the liquid, so that the solute, whatever the solute component is there, should be absorbed by the liquid. So that is our thing. So A plus B is the gaseous composition and C is the liquid composition. when gas is moving from position 1 to position 2, so the whatever the components A and B we have traveling in this direction along the distance. Okay, so while transferring from one phase to one position to second position, the solute concentration will going to decrease in the gas phase, because we are transferring the solute from gaseous phase to the liquid phase. So the composition of the gas B component in the gas phase is going to decrease while it is moving from position 1 to 2. Whatever the decreasing concentration of solute will be in which phase? In the liquid phase. So from liquid, from position 2 to position 1 it is moving. While it is moving from position 2 to 1, the whatever the transferred solute is transferring into the liquid C. So where if we consider the liquid phase, the solute concentration is going to increase from 2 to 1. Okay, if you observe the below diagram, you can easily clearly understand that. If we take a graph between the distance and the concentration, where the distance is on the x-axis and the concentration is on the y-axis. If we consider the distance traveling from position 1 to 2, so if we take the red color line, which is indicating the gas phase. So if you observe the gas concentration, the gas phase it at some concentration. Here it is the concentration. If we use this concentration, from it is moving from 1 to 2, whatever you can observe the decrease in the concentration when moving from the distance 1 to 2, right? So because of this, whatever the losing concentration, it is gaining from the gas to the liquid. So if you observe the liquid, here it is, we are taking it is as the counter current direction. So whatever the ending point of gas will be the starting point of the liquid, right? So it is the counter current. So the liquid will start from here to here, from position 2 to 1. While going, it increases its concentration. That is where the concentration of the solute varies from liquid to gas in a counter current direction. Similar way, if we consider the co-current direction of the absorption process, here also you can observe the gas concentration is decreasing from position 1 is here. This is position 2. From one position to 2 position, the concentration is decreasing. But in co-current, the liquid should also enter into the same direction. This is the direction of the gas and liquid phase. Liquid also entering from position 1. From this position to 2 position, the liquid concentration of solute is increasing. This is also the second position. So this is the first position and this is the second position. But liquid, this is traveling in this direction, gas is traveling in this direction. So depending on the flow rates, how the concentration of solute is transferring from gas to liquid is very important. Most of the cases in industries, we always may deal with the counter current absorption process because of its high concentration differences. We can get more mass transfer coefficient in co-current absorption process only. Okay, I think you can understand. If you have anything, you can share it to me. Okay. So these are the links I have provided for you for your better understanding of the principle and applications. So we are in the previous slides, we had observed that we are using one solvent in liquid phase like L for transferring of solute or for removing of solute from gas to liquid. So what are the general characteristics while we come across while dealing with the solvent? So these are some of the important steps or things we have to remember while selecting the solvent which is going to be used in the absorption process. Okay, so the factors should be considered are gas solubility. The solubility plays a major role in absorption. So we have to, the gas solubility should be very high. Okay, because if it is high, the rate of absorption will be high and the quality of the, we can decrease the quantity of solvent. Okay, sometimes we can add more solvent in order to remove one solute from the gas. So it was not economical when we consider in the industrial point of view. So always we have to consider the solubility of gas. It should be more soluble. If it is more soluble, then automatically less amount of solvent is required in order to remove that solute. Okay, so that is the condition. And second one is the volatility. Volatility nothing but the solvent should have always low vapor pressure to reduce loss of solvent in the gas, leaving an absorption column. This is very important while coming to the volatility concept. And third one is the corrosiveness. Always we should select in such a way that it should not corrode the equipment which is undergoing for the absorption process, because once the corrosion will be there, we can come across the scaling problems and everything, so that maximum amount of time is required for the reaction time, for everything, loss of solvent, all comes into the matter. So always we have to see in such a that it should not corrode the equipment which we are using for the absorption process. And next, coming to the industrial point of view, that is the cost. So always we have to select the construction materials for absorption which are not expensive. That is the minimum thing we can come across while taking while we construct any type of industries or anything, any equipments, right? So it should not be more expensive. Okay. And coming to the viscosity, low viscosity is preferred. Always we have to prefer low viscosity type of solvents. The reasons for this, because of rapid absorption rate and improved flooding characteristics. Okay, these are the two important parameters. Regarding for that, we need to choose the low viscosity parameters. And last but not the conditions, these solvent, whatever we are selecting for the absorption process, it should not be toxic. That is the foremost condition, and it should not be flammable and chemically stable. It should not, if it is not chemically stable, we can't use for the solvent. It's the minimum thing. Okay, so these are the conditions which we have to follow while choosing any solvent for the absorption process. Okay, so so far we have discussed about the absorption process, the phenomena, the applications of absorption process, and what are the types of absorption process, and how the flow patterns, how we have different flow patterns in the absorption process, like co-current, counter-current, and how the solute is transferred from gaseous phase to liquid phase, and how the concentration of solute is varying, okay, in different flow patterns like co-current and counter-current. Okay, coming to the next topic, that is the one component transferred material balances. How we can make material balance in an absorption tower. So generally, we already discussed that most of the industries we are dealing with the counter current absorption process only. Okay, here also we are taking one example in counter current flow pattern only for single component. How we going to write a material balance, how we going to calculate the mass transfer coefficient, and everything we will see in this video. So this is the counter current flow. Here we are already discussed that this is the phase 1 and this is the exit 2. So where here you can observe the gas is entering in this direction and the liquid is entering in this direction. So let us terminate some of the terms which are used in this process. Okay, so here whatever the terms, you should be very clear while dealing with the terms. Okay, so let us consider G1. G1, the G is representing the gas phase and 1 representing the entry. Here we are taking the points as 1 and 2. 1 is for entering and 2 is for the exit phase. So for that we are considering G1, where the gas is entering in the one direction, and if you observe the leaving stream of gas, here it is G2, the gas phase which is leaving from the second position. And coming to the GS. So GS is nothing but the moles of solvent, how much amount of solvent is transferred, the rate of solvent we can call it as. And coming to the small y1 and capital Y1. Okay, so here you have to know that here we are dealing with two types of fractions. So always you have to remember here, always we considering for liquid phases, we always write it as the component X. For gaseous phases, we consider as Y. So always remember this nomenclature. So whenever we are writing for liquid phases, we have to use X component, and whenever it is using for the gaseous, we are using for the small y or just Y, because there is a difference for the, here we are making it as difference for small x, small y and small capital X, capital Y also. Generally for small x is indicating the mole fraction in liquid phases, and small y is the mole fraction in gaseous phase. Okay, when coming to the small x, this is the mole ratio, and capital Y is mole ratio in gas. Here it is the liquid. So this is the mole fraction, this is the mole ratio. So if you observe these two conditions properly, then we can understand the concept of how we are writing the material balance for each and every entrance or exit or in between any number of trays. So we can write material balance for each and every tray in a packet column or absorption column. Okay, so these are the main things. Small x and small y is referring for the mole fractions, and capital X, capital Y are mentioned for the mole ratios for either for liquid and gases. For liquids always we have to consider for X, and for gases always we consider as Y. Okay, so if you observe here in this diagram, in first position G1, Gs are the mole rates, how the gas is transferring, in which rate is transferring from 1 to 2, that is representing by G1, and the solvent, because gas consists of both solute and solvent. So solvent, how much it is transferring from here gas to liquid, that is what we are going to mention as Gs. And coming to the Y1, and rho 1 is the density of the gaseous phase. When coming to the liquid phase, Ls we are considering L2. L2 is nothing but where the liquid is entering. Here it is a counter current direction. That is why we are representing as L suffix 2. 2 is representing the second exit. Okay, second position. This is entering in opposite direction as we considering as the counter current path. So he is L2, where Ls is the liquid. How much amount of solvent while liquid is transferring from traveling from 2 to 1 positions. Okay, and capital X2 and small x2, where small x2 is the mole fraction and capital X2 is the mole ratio. Okay, so and here is the leaving stream of the gas, which is representing as L1, Ls, X, capital X1 and small x1. These are the nomenclature which we consider for the positions 1 and 2. Okay, so now if you observe the here, I mentioned small x, small y and capital X, capital Y. There is a relationship between the small x and capital X and small y and capital Y. That is nothing but here the mole ratio capital Y, which can be rewritten, which can be defined as small y by 1 minus y. And whereas capital X is defined as small x by 1 minus small x, where small y and small x are the mole fractions. Okay, small mole fractions, individual moles by total moles. Okay, that is why we can write as a mole ratio capital Y and capital X. Okay, next here if we consider the diagram, here we are differentiating the blocks into two parts, like one tray we are considering as P here. If you observe here, there is a tray we are considering, that is the P, where how the gas is entering and how the liquid is leaving. In that particular tray we are assuming. We are writing the material balance for this tray actually. From 1 to this tray we are considering, not for the whole absorption column 1 and 2. In between we have so many trays like this. Okay, in between in an absorption column which is having lots of height, So we are not considering the starting position and entry and exit position. In between, we are assuming one tray, so that how the material balance we can write. After that, we can go with the 1 and 2 positions we can write. Okay, so we are considering here the position. Okay, this is the individual tray. We are going to observe where the position for writing the material balance concept. So if you observe here, how we can write the material balance. So from the definition of the mole ratio, we are already done. Capital Y is equal to small y by 1 minus small y. Capital X is equal to small x by 1 minus x. This is what we know from the definition of the mole ratio. According to that only, we are writing the material balance for general GS and LS. GS is the gas rate. That's why individual G into 1 minus Y. And coming to the LS, we are writing it as capital L into 1 minus X. So, with respect to small x and capital small y, we are replacing with, from this definition of mole ratio, we are replacing this small y in terms of capital Y. Okay, so this is how we can write GS and LS. Complete material balance for the tray P, we can write it as GS into, so if you observe here, we can write simply like, for example, this is the entry position. So if we consider that plate P, so we'll write one material balance. How we are going to write the material balance? So normal entering should be equal to leaving streams. Okay, this is what general material balance we will write. So if we consider the plate P, here what are the leaving streams and what are the entering streams? So for P, the entering stream will be from the first position. How the gas, what are the entering streams here? G1 and coming to mole fractions. G1, Y1 plus, for this tray, what is the entering again? Liquid also is entering. LS and X, that equal to leaving streams. The gas is leaving from the plate P, GS and YA. GS and YA plus, what is the leaving stream of the liquid? L1 and X1. So this is how we can write. Okay, so by taking that, all the G terms, Y1 plus LSX is equal to GS Y1 plus L1 X1. So GS terms, what we can write it as? We can write GS common, Y1 here it is YA leaving. So Y1 minus YA is equal to L1 common is the L1 into X1 minus X. So you can write any of the parameters. Either you can consider the small x or you can consider the capital X. So after writing all the things, you can get as GS into Y1 minus Y is equal to LS into XS minus X. This is how we can write as the total material balance for the individual tray when comparing with the section 1 and the individual tray. And also you can write here in terms of partial pressures also. Okay, so this is how we can write the material. Why we have to move across the mass transfer coefficient and everything is, so here we are dealing with the mass transfer, so that we can, after getting the material balance equation, you came to know that getting everything we can calculate any of the parameters, either mole fractions or mass flow rate, whatever we can calculate from the material balance equations. How it is going to be useful in the next. So up to now we have discussed about the absorption process and the principle, mechanism, how it is going to transfer, how the solute concentrations will be, how the different types of absorption process, and how different types of flow patterns like co-current and counter current, how we can write the material balance for the tray. Okay, so generally in industries we are going to take, if you take an absorption column, we have so many lot number of trays in the absorption column. Okay, here we are writing the material balance for one tray only. Okay, so if we, here the position is 1 and position is 2. If you are writing for plate 1, so you have to consider what are the material balance for the other trays also. So for that we need to integrate something, or we can write for columns 1 to 2 directly. You can write the material balance by considering the gas and liquid flow rates and corresponding mole fractions or mole ratios, whatever it is. Okay, how the transfer of solute is. So by treating all these conditions, we can able to get how the absorption column will be there. Okay, so in the next class we are going to discuss how the material balance for the entire column will be. Right now, up to now, we had seen about for tray, for individual tray, how you are writing the material balance and everything. In the next class, we are going to see how the material balance will write for the entire column. Okay, for the column, like for absorption process and for the stripping, that is reciprocal of the absorption thing. So how we can write, how the graph looks will be, how we are going to calculate the mass transfer coefficient and everything we can discuss. And also we want to discuss about in the next class or also. So generally whatever the absorption principle we discussed now will be applied for the industries in equipments. Now in equipments we had already discussed that also. In packed columns, in packed towers, this absorption principle is used. So how the packed column will be, how the tray column will be, what is the difference between the packed and tray column. Okay, why we have to use packed column, what is the significance, and a lot more things we need to discuss, like new terms like HETP, height equivalent to theoretical plate, and NTU, HTU. These are so many important factors which we are going to consider in a gas absorption concept. So that's all for today, and we'll continue in the next class. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.